Hi everyone, this is Lana. I'm here with another channeling for you. I was receiving all through today many messages, and I really wanted to talk about time, the concept of time, and how we can actually use the concept of time for our benefit by not focusing on it as much as we usually do in our 3D lives. So, if we think about time, we think about your twin flame journey. We are always measuring things with time, right? We have rites of passages, we have milestones, we have things that we set in our minds, and many of us are programmed, or actually all of us are programmed to have accomplished certain things until certain moment in time, depending on our cultural upbringing and societal norms. But if we really strip down the concept of time spiritually, this is one of the things that the masters, the enlightened ones, the sages have overcome. Time is something that is also an illusion of the mind. So it's a mind construct. It is something artificial that we use in order to navigate our 3D realities in our 3D world. But actually, in reality, time does not exist. So I don't want to go too much into quantum and multidimensionality and multiverses and all of that, because I don't want to overwhelm you with theory. But what I want you to understand, or to try to wrap your mind around, is if time doesn't exist, and if I can be okay with the idea sometimes that time doesn't exist and I can use it for my benefit, I don't have to be worrying about doing certain things or achieving certain things at certain times and then get discouraged if I don't. Because that's one of the things that I see a lot with women and with my women patients. We have, especially because of our fertility, we think, or we are always programmed since we are little girls, that we need to have things achieved until a certain age. At a certain age, we have to marry, or depending on where you are, but I think in most of the world, it is still something that is very, very deep ingrained in the roots of the collective. And it really puts a pressure on women, especially on the part of conceiving and of having babies, for example, having a family, finding the right partner. And here comes the whole twin flame concept also in. So I have seen a lot of twin flame patients or clients who are very concerned about when they will reach union, especially because of this deep wish to have a family. And if they are over 30, 35, 40, then it's like this social pressure is put upon them, or they put it upon them. But I really feel like it's something that is very, very much ingrained in the collective. So in order to lift this weight of our shoulders as women, in order to create a new paradigm where we don't have this pressure of time, we don't have the pressure of achieving, we don't have the pressure of doing certain things until a certain moment, the way we can change this is by not focusing on time, but focusing on the present moment and focusing on ourselves, like redirecting our goal-oriented minds and making ourselves the goal every day. So I'm not going to say, oh, you shouldn't do anything or don't worry about it and everything will sort itself out, because we are co-creators. So the thing is to empower ourselves and to take back the power that we give to time, consciously or unconsciously or through collective programming. Because when we do that, when we take back our power from time, we are in our full capacity of co-creating and manifesting our new realities in the present moment. So we stop fixing things in a certain moment in time in the future, and we start co-creating and creating and advancing through the present moment, through each and every breath we take. So I want to talk to you about a different way of manifesting, a different way of creating, of co-creating with the universe that is more in tune and in sync with our feminine nature. Feminine energy is expansive, it's ever-growing, but it's also a circle, it's contained. It doesn't need anything from the outside. And we are cyclical. So we have a different way of approaching and moving forward, if you will, than the masculine energy. The masculine energy is more like a straight line, like an arrow. And it does go from point A to point B. And that's the focus, that's the intention, and it takes all the effort and the stamina and the hormonal power to do so. So men are very driven in one direction, and they have this force. But women, we are built, like our biology, our bioenergetic is built differently. We have different hormones. So because we are built differently, we don't function the same way. And in this world that is predominantly masculine and oriented to the masculine energies, we as women, we end up having jobs, or we find jobs, we find places, we find our careers, we find wherever thing we do, and we tend to run out of gas in many ways if we are in a very very masculine energy workplace or workspace or whatever. We can be overachievers. It's not to say that we can't do it. We can, of course, because we have 16 times more capacity. But our biophysics in our body starts giving us signals that it is too much. And stress is one of the things that really, really affects our hormones. And we don't have the same hormonal processes. We don't have testosterone. We don't have this force like men to push ourselves through. That is not our nature. Our nature is to nurture, to be compassionate, to take breaks, to take naps, I'm not saying that the feminine energy is lazy whatsoever. I'm just saying that we are like a cyclical energy, okay? We have our times where we are very driven and very focused, and then we have our times where we need to play, and then we have our times where we are very calm, and then we have our times where we are very emotional, and then we have our times where we are very intellectual. So, and of course this depends on each individual, but honoring our nature, that we are like water, we are like a flowing river. So sometimes we are flowing in a certain way, sometimes we have a lot of waves, sometimes the water is very calm. And the way we can manage this and incorporate this is to let this force within us, connect with this force within us, with our feminine energy, with our goddess energy, with our highest potential, with our higher self, and through our intuition to be guided to the situations and to be constantly co-creating with this inner voice, with this inner divine feminine energy, our new realities. Anywhere you feel that you are doing too much, or that you're abandoning yourself, that you are not taking care of yourself, that you are pushing yourselves through things, that you are not taking care of your body, of your physical vessel, of your mental, emotional states, those are signs for you to see and to recognize where you can bring yourself into a better place, where you can do something for yourself and really let your divine feminine energy more into your life so you can be guided. We are living in a fast-paced world, but there's actually no time. So this is a very, very big paradox. If we take away and take back our power from time, we have enough time because we have all the time in the world to do things. When we take this pressure off ourselves, we are able to connect to our creative power, to our sexual energy, to our sensual energy, and to our creative flow. When you are in a creative flow, you are 1,000 times more effective, more powerful, and more capable of directing your life than if you are in a stress period, than if you are doing things that you don't like, and eventually your sexual energy, your creative force runs out. And I see this a lot in women who start having problems having orgasms, expressing their sexuality, finding a partner, or wanting to have kids, but they haven't found a partner and they don't have time to find a partner. They want to bear children, but they don't have time in their busy schedules to even make time for themselves. So one of our qualities as divine feminines is also our capability to expand from within and to create space. I was talking about this in the twin flame channeling I did, my last twin flame channeling, about how our power with the divine masculine, the twin flame journey, is also our ability to hold this space for them. In the same way we hold space for them, we have this amazing power to hold space for ourselves. And that is the one thing that will lead you to your true heart's desires as fast as possible. You don't need to be restricted by time, by dates, by things that have to happen in certain ways. If you focus on healing the things that are not letting you co-create with your creative energy, the places where you need more rest, where you need to integrate, where you need to expand. If you give yourself the time to expand, you will ascend timelines. You will escalate to a higher vibration where you don't need to hustle anymore, where you can rest, you can have the time that you need, you can be in flow with all your projects, but where you are the center of your movie, where you are the main actress, you are the main role, and you decide, you can improvise, and you decide where to take the script. You are everything, actually. You're the director of your movie, you are the main actress, you are everyone. So really taking this in, taking this power back, this is what helps you to manifest whatever you want to manifest, and not in any date in the future, but to manifest it now. Because time doesn't exist, and because time is a mental construct, everything that you are putting your attention on or focusing right now is what you are manifesting. So we can take the power of the now, and just by simply dedicating a couple of minutes every day when you wake up, by dedicating these minutes to what you want to manifest. And I'm not even saying to write a list or intentions or to get obsessed with the idea of manifesting. It's just to have a conversation with God, the universe, or however you conceive it, and let him know, or let it know, that you are open, that you, through your divine power, through your divine will, you are open to receive all the things that your heart desires, all the things that make you feel peaceful, joyful, anything that you wish. You let them know, you let God know that you are open to receive, and you ask from your heart to be open to receive this and to receive all of this. If it's unconditional love, for example, to be open to receive this unconditional love in all ways possible for you at this time, for your highest good. So what we do is, in a way, we surrender our divine will by aligning it with God's divine will. And God's divine will, or your higher self's divine will, always knows the fast track, always knows the best way for you to get from one point to another. And it holds your energy. It is your energy who is directing you. So you are not being enslaved or pushed or shoved around by someone else, but you are going with the flow of your own rhythm. You are aligning with your own rhythm of life. And this, I know this requires to restore your faith in yourself and to restore your faith in God, in the universe. And this can be a process, of course, but only through your intention, by doing this invocation every day, by saying what you want to invite into your reality and to visualize it, to see it, to feel it with joy, it will start creating this space. And the more you create this, very soon, like I'm talking about days, it can be 1 day or 2 days of doing this, the things that you really want and the things that you need, the opportunities, the people, the synchronicities, the places where you need to be, everything will start to align with you. Because when we recognize ourselves as the center of our universe, as this power, and not in an ego way, but in a way that is healthy for us, when we recognize our divine power, our divine gifts as divine beings, when we recognize that we are human, but that we are also divine, when we integrate this, we start attracting in divine ways the things that we need. So we are no longer creating from a constricted 3D human paradigm, but we are co-creating and creating through our divine mind, through our divine power, through our divine selves. And our divine self is not limited by time or space or by anything. So in a way, this also relates to the twin flame journey. When you start to be in your power, you start attracting your twin flame in a whole new different way, in a way that you are not hustling, you are not striving, but you just through your energy, through you aligning with your own divinity, this starts to create this magnetic pull, and your twin flame feels this, and he starts aligning with his divine nature. And when you guys both are aligned, you start coming together more and more and more. And this is also true for our healing processes. when we heal ourselves, when we are on a spiritual journey, in the old paradigm, it was a lot about heal, 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 and many people started to have also like not so much compassion for ourselves. And I'm also there because I also had very strict discipline in my spiritual practice. I would meditate for hours. I was a vegan. I would do fastings. I would do things, but the energy that was behind that, because I was still in my healing journey, in this healing process, and I hadn't fully integrated my divine self, I was doing this, or the engine behind was because I thought that if I did this, 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 and this, then I would be healed and I would be enlightened. And I would be, well, I'm not sure if I thought I was going to be enlightened, but that everything would be perfect. And that is a totally time-based construct, and it is a construct from the old paradigm, from the old spiritual paradigm. Now our spiritual paradigm, or the spiritual paradigm that I conceive as my path and as my truth, is more heart-centered. It is a path where unconditional love for yourself is the key, is the number one ruler, it is the guide. So it's not discipline, it's not achieving certain things, it's not even spiritual practice. It is being so much in your heart that you can drive yourself or take yourself through any journey you decide to go through, and loving yourself each step of the way unconditionally. And this is also a process in itself. But when we start when the engine and the force that drives us is unconditional love and love for ourselves, or even just the intention to love ourselves more fully every day, this changes completely the outlook of our journey. We are no longer seeing ourselves as limited beings, but we are accepting our divinity, our wholeness, our perfection in this moment in time now, which is always. And we are truly embodying this unconditional love just by our mere intention to give this unconditional love to ourselves. And from there, if we have a totally different approach to everything, it changes, because it changes you. Even your body chemistry, your cells, your chakras, all of you are a living being, you are energy, and energy reacts to energy. Unconditional love is the highest vibrational energy there. So when you start aligning with that, even if it's only through intention in your mind, it starts making a ripple effect through your cells, through your atoms, through your DNA, through all of your energetic. And the more you do this, the more you are guided to have experiences that bring about this unconditional love. And you also have other type of experiences, because we all do in the journey, and especially when you are healing things, a lot of things come to the surface. But we treat ourselves and we see ourselves through the eyes of unconditional love. So no matter what we're going through, no matter if we are currently facing our darkest, deepest fears, or we're facing our darkest demons, or we are having this internal war with something from the past, we are still loving ourselves unconditionally. We are still saying to ourselves, I have you, I have your back, I'm here with you. And even through our spiritual practice, we are not pushing ourselves to achieve things when our heart and our inner child, the only thing that they want at the time is to be held. We are not going to force them through the fire anymore. That's the way I see it. Instead of forcing yourself through the fire, flip the coin around and say, how can I be more loving to myself? How can I bring more water into my life? Instead of focusing on the fire, how can I bring more water? How can I be more in touch with my emotions? How can I be more in touch with my intuition? What can I do to have a pleasant time, even if it's just an hour? Even if I only give myself 1 hour a day, but that hour I will fully love myself. I will fully dedicate it to me. So it's really about finding a balance in your journey and finding ways that support you. We spend so much of our time and of our lives finding ways to be in our own way, to criticize ourselves, to say to ourselves what we are not doing, what we should be doing, what we should be doing at certain time, why, and why there are many excuses, right? But if we start focusing on telling ourselves what we are doing right, what we want to do, what our heart feels like doing, what we want in the world, what we want to create, if we start to ask ourselves these questions, and we start making this, how can I help you? You know, like when you go into a store, how can I help you? That should be your way of dealing with yourself. How can I help myself? If I have trouble, for example, meditating, right? I'm on a spiritual practice and I know this is really good for me, but I have trouble doing this. Well, there are ways. How can I make my spiritual practice more fun? Or how can I keep myself interested? Maybe I can join a meditation class where I'm not by myself meditating. Maybe it helps me to have company while I meditate and to have motivation in that. Or maybe what motivates me is to find a different meditation each day, or to try different healing techniques. Or maybe after I do my practice, I will give myself a treat. I don't know, eat ice cream, whatever you like. But it's making the focus a heart-centered focus, and a path that is heart-centered, where you're always taking care of your heart and soul, where your soul is leading the way and your heart is taken care of. You are taking care of your heart, and your heart is taking care of you. So I will leave you with this message. I hope this helps you, and I hope you find a lot of comfort and a lot of peace in this message, knowing that we are not in a fight against time. We are constantly creating with time our heart's desires, and you are part of that. So please own that and see how this shift in perspective works for you, and how much peace it can bring into your life, no matter what you're going through, and in each situation that you may be. Try to apply this, and to every time that you're worried or thinking about time or something time related, give yourself the freedom and the joy to know that everything will be alright. Everything is evolving for your highest good, for your highest development. And by focusing on your heart and redirecting that energy, you will manifest the things that you need even faster than you think. Okay? So I love you guys so much. I'm sending you many blessings, and I hope you have a nice day. I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.